are you guys?
Very good.
Good. On this Monday morning.
Yeah.
We're here today. This is something that actually someone got in touch with me to talk about. So I love when any of you out there get in touch and suggest topics, because that's what I want to do. I want to give you what you're looking for. So the suggestion was how to eat out here in Doha healthily, basically.
Is that
right?
possible?
Is it possible? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit and sort of suggest certain restaurants, but what I am going to do is talk about the food and things like that. So, you know, I think in Doha, definitely one of our favourite pastimes does seem to revolve around food.
Yeah.
The weekend rolls around. What do you want to do? Let's go out to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, cake, everything in between, yeah? So it can be a bit like that. And resisting temptation, you know, when you're at one of these places, is quite tough.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to go along and have a cup of tea. I won't have any cake.
And
then the cake
later
looks good. So it's
no.
like that. It's kind of tough. And, you know, you don't want to be sort of taunted by... there's an awful lot of choices out there as well. I think it's a great thing. We have this wonderful city, but there's an awful lot of choices for different things here and how you want to eat and things like that. So how do we eat meals then away from the home without overindulging? And I would say the key is portion control.
Yeah.
Because, and a little advanced planning here. I like to eat out, but I don't do it every day. I don't even do it every week, to be honest. If I know I'm going out for a dinner, I'm like, okay, I'm going out for a dinner. So that's me advanced planning. I don't sort of do it on a whim. I like to kind of know when I'm going and where I'm going. And I do tend to choose places that are really good food. I don't eat in fast food restaurants and things like that. In a recent survey, it said that on average, the average person, this is actually in America to be honest, but it's kind of similar to here.
Yeah.
We eat an estimated 1/3 of all our calories outside the home.
Right.
So that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
That means that you're eating almost like a whole meal a day outside of the home.
Yeah.
And maybe people are for their lunch.
I can quite easily believe that. Anyway, away from meals, I mean, I'm sure I might be going ahead here, but like you have a coffee.
That's
even.
right, yeah.
You go to a Starbucks
Exactly.
and get a coffee or
all
something.
those things.
You know, it all adds up.
That's right. And in that survey, they found that and when you do eat outside of the home, you eat more.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to eat more calories, of course, because you're not really sure what's in the product. So, you know, it probably comes as no surprise because restaurants will serve larger portions than you would. So that's why I'm saying it's about portion control.
Yeah.
Okay. So one sure way to control your calories is that portion sort of guide in your mind. So always think about what you're eating in front of you. So when I go out for dinner, I'm not going to have 3 courses, or I would try and have smaller portions. Last summer I went to the States for a holiday and I forgot how big the portions there are. Like, I can't eat that kind of portions. So I would constantly say, can I have a child size or can I have a half of that?
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. And I know a place here that does pancakes for breakfast, and I've been a few times to this place, and like their small option is 3 pancakes, and I will actually say, give me 1 pancake, and the guy always looks at me like I'm strange. But I know, because if there's 3 in front of me, I would probably manage to stuff
kind
it.
Of compelled to eat it as well, because you feel like waste not, want not.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it kind of just eggs you on to eat it all.
So if I say in the first hand, just give me 1 of these pancakes, please, then there's 1 in front of me. I'm not really needing the 3 of them. It takes a little bit of control to do that, but you'll get used to it. So something I also try and do sometimes is I'll order like a starter that I think looks really healthy and it's quite nice and maybe might be quite big, and I'll have that instead of a main course if I just feel like it's just going to be too much. So, you know, consider thinking about ordering a bit healthier, and there's been research done that if we actually have soup before a meal, we'll eat less at that meal.
It is very filling. It is.
Exactly. So sometimes you can think about, if you're in a restaurant here, you could order soup for a starter and then know that salad would be fine for a main course because you would be full.
But
from
then
the
salads
soup.
can be very tricky.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, I mean, I used to work when I was waitress in a restaurant when I was in college and things like that. And the worst item on the menu, I can mention it actually, I used to work at Pizza Express. But the worst item on the menu there was a salad for fat content and for calories.
Really? Because of all the sauce and stuff, the dressing?
All the dressings, the breadsticks that come with it, the whatever. I mean, this is the case for all kinds of restaurants, not just the one that I worked in. I mean, you can always ask. Generally, staff will probably know which is a better option.
Really?
But for a lot of people came in and they would automatically order that thinking they were ordering something incredibly heavy,
and it's a shame because I think salad gets a bad rep for that reason, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, don't order the salad, it's bad for you. Well, it's not. Just take the dressing on the side.
Yeah.
And that's when this person said to me, look, I don't know, should I have dressing on the side? Should I have cream? Should I have this? That's why they said, okay, give us a help with this. So let's bring it back a little bit. First of all, you're going out for a meal. Let's think about where you're going to choose to eat. Okay, so most restaurants, you know, you got casual, you got fine dining. Most of them will have healthy options somewhere on that. I say most of them, not these fast food ones, but some of them will. So think about, and I would say, please, if you're watching what you're eating, avoid buffets, because these buffets, there's far too much temptation just sitting there right in front of you. Okay, so try and just get rid of them for now, all right? But if you think, right, I'm going out for dinner on Friday, I'm going to this particular restaurant, okay? That's when you have to think about what you're actually going to eat. So let's keep it simple. Simpler the better, right? So protein is chicken, it's fish. So take a chunk there of protein and have it with vegetables or with salad. When we're talking about salad, you're having the dressing on this side, okay? Dressings are worse when they're thick and creamy.
Yeah.
If they're the oils, they're not so bad. But again, ask this on the side so you can control how much you actually need, you know, what's actually on there. So if you stick to that, that's not a bad thing to do. Bread basket, take it away. No, thank you, I don't want that. Okay? I went to Czech Republic years and years ago. Czech Republic, Prague. And they charged us for the bread. And we're like, well, we didn't ask for the bread. But they charge you for it. Mm-hmm. So this is quite a nice thing, because if you were getting charged for it, you wouldn't order it probably, would you?
No, you'd ask for it if you wanted it.
Exactly. So you're turning up at a restaurant, you're starving, there's a bread basket in front of you. Oh, it's temptation. Just say, I don't want the bread basket. You can just wait a little bit longer for that meal to come, okay? So you're keeping it simple, okay? Nice thing there is, like Laura's mentioned, talk to the waiter or the waitress. They'll know what is going on. So, you know, these people, they've tasted the food in that restaurant. They know what's actually in it. Ask them if it comes with butter. You can sometimes tell with the description. Yeah. So what I would suggest is ordering foods that are simply prepared, okay? Because sauces and casseroles are mysteries and generally include lots of cream and butter and cheese and all these things. And the reason that food in a restaurant tastes so good is because chefs put a lot of butter in it. They want it to taste good, right? Yeah. So that's why it tastes a lot better than when you do it at home.
Why does it not taste the same?
Yeah. So don't be embarrassed, especially in these sort of fine dining restaurants. Don't be embarrassed to speak to the waiter and say, I don't want butter with mine. I want it cooked this way. You can be a bit of a diva. I am like this when I'm in restaurants sometimes. So simple foods like grilled fish or steamed veg are delicious, and you can just have them dusted with spices or topped with some salsa and lemon and things like that. And start to learn to savor the food that you actually order. So like, I love to order fresh fish and vegetables because they do it so beautifully. They cook it so well that you don't need to have all these extra calories added on with chips and fries and mashed potatoes and all this stuff that don't have much taste to it, to be honest. It's early to talk about fish, isn't it? And fries. But one ingredient that's often found in restaurant food is cheese. Yeah. And cheese has a lot of fat in it and calories. It's okay in moderation, but, you know, it is nutritious in moderation. But be careful when you go to restaurants because you'll find that it's in a lot of sauces, especially these pasta things and all of that. So be careful about that. And, of course, I don't need to remind you, you're avoiding fried foods. This is all about, guys, if you're watching your weight, but also your heart. Fried food is not good for your cholesterol. It's not good for your heart. So please try and avoid these things. Or they only happen when you eat out. Then you don't eat this stuff the rest of the time. Yeah. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Yeah. I don't eat that stuff hardly ever. So if I'm out, then maybe I'll indulge a little bit. And I did mention soup earlier. And please make sure when you're ordering soup that it's kind of more of the clear broth rather than the creamy, heavy soups like that. Because they're pretty full of calories and cream. Eat light and right. Like I said, skip the bread basket. Try and skip butter here and there. And then after your meal, if you really, really need a dessert, then okay, maybe share it with someone. You know, sorbet, exactly. Or you can make your dessert. And I know a lot of you are going to roll your eyes, but you could have fresh fruit salad for your dessert.
Gosh, I do love a bit of fruit salad. I'm like a fruit bat. I love it.
Yeah, she's a fruit bat. Oh, bless. She is. She likes her apples. But, you know, you're right. Like, you can get that sort of juicy, fruity taste at the end of a meal, or often we do just want to cleanse the palate. So like a sorbet is quite nice. But if you do go for a dessert, please try and avoid the cream and the heavier desserts as well. They'll just make you feel pretty stodgy. Something I do want you to remember here is that you don't have to eat every single morsel of food that's given to you. A really cool research that I found, I actually watched this on TV, was Paul McKenna is a well-known hypnotist, and he's sort of a wellness guru in the UK and now America as well. He's pretty clever, and he did a sort of test where he allowed participants to eat from a bowl of soup, but one of the bowls kept refilling automatically. I don't know how they did this.
That freaked me out.
But it kind of did. Yeah. And that person kept eating and kept eating and kept eating. And what that basically tells you is...
the same as animals, really, aren't we? We just don't stop.
Well, that's right. They felt as if they had to eat everything in that plate. So that's when I take you back to portion control, that if you have a smaller plate, you'll only eat what's on it.
Yeah.
If you... I do sometimes try to say to myself, I'm going to leave stuff on the plate.
Yeah.
Not if I'm starving, obviously.
Yeah. But
I do try to be like, you are full right now. You all know about this whole takes 10 minutes for your brain to know that it's full and all of this stuff. But, you know, when you're enjoying yourself, you're talking, these things go out the window, and that's understandable. But just try to keep everything I've said, bear it in mind. Choose a nice restaurant that's going to have good food, good quality food. Be careful of your portions. Opt for the simple and healthy options on that menu. The fish, the chicken with salad or vegetables. Skip the bread basket. Put the dressing for salad on the side. And if you're going for a dessert, try fruit, try a sorbet, or share it if you really have to. But enjoy.
Well, good advice for not only those who are just kind of watching their weight, obviously, but people who are just, like you say, trying to kind of protect their heart a little bit, perhaps, or just trying to make some better choices.
Yeah, especially here if you feel like, I mean, in April, we're having a lot of visitors coming, and you feel that when the visitors are here, you're taking them out for dinner a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I don't think I cook a single meal when I have guests. I'm always like, oh no, here it comes.
And I find it stressful because they're on holiday, but you're not.
Yeah.
So you're effectively having a holiday waistline because you're eating out as much as they are, kind of thing. So this is why I actually am quite good now at this. Like, I go to restaurants and I am good at knowing what to pick off menus. So for the person that asked me to do it, I hope that's definitely helped you. Anything else, let us know.
Well, we'll have you back here in the studio on Wednesday this week.
I'm doing a bit of stress relief for you guys. 10 to Zen. How to chill out.
I'm there. I don't know why you see the comes out.
It's always the
We'll see you then.
Cool.
For the week.
See you then.